And we're back. Just like that, the Colorado Buffaloes are back. Yesterday was the first official team meeting. And I got some key takeaways, so let's talk about it. Okay, I think the most interesting takeaway from yesterday that I think will be entertaining, maybe I'll say that. The most entertaining takeaway from yesterday's first team meeting for the Colorado Buffs was the friendly competition has geared up between Kaidon Salter and Juju Lewis. Both are quarterbacks for Colorado, and both are determined to be the starter for season 3 of the Coach Prime era. Welcome back to What She Said. Hop in the live. Let's talk. So, the off time went by fast. It did. It went by fast. I think I actually forgot that football programs actually coincide with the school's calendar. I don't know why I was expecting this long downtime, but yeah, that didn't happen. We're back, and for those of you that were wondering where Bucky would be, he's in Boulder. He's in Boulder. He's doing what Bucky does. He's growing, appears to be scaling Well Off Media, still giving us daily content. So welcome back. Get on in here so we can talk about the first official meeting. Key takeaways, the most interesting takeaway. Julian Lewis and Kaidon Salter. So here's what's funny about that. Julian was sitting in the team meeting. Julian was seated in Shadour's old seat, right there on the front row. Y'all know, as soon as you look at the video, you'll notice, oh, Juju's sitting in Shadour's seat. Makes sense, right? Kaidon, who came from Liberty, transferred from Liberty, played Truth Academy football when Coach Prime had Truth Academy. Family very, very familiar with Coach Prime. His father knew all the coaches. He was very instrumental in being a football dad. His mom was instrumental in being a football mom, taking the photos, etc. So, Kaidon said, okay, Juju, you want to sit in Shadour's old seat? That's cool, because I'm sitting next to the OC, the guy calling the plays. I'm like, ooh, this going to be interesting. First game on the schedule, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech. Now, y'all know Georgia Tech and Georgia went 8 rounds in OT to settle a game. I watched Georgia Tech play last year. I watched them play Miami. Yeah, this gonna be interesting. So let's talk about the second key takeaway. So we talked about Juju. We talked about Kaidon. Hey, what's good? What's good? We're talking about Colorado program is officially back online. They had their first team meeting yesterday. I'm talking about the key takeaways. The first one was the most entertaining, that we are gearing up. They've already started the friendly quarterback competition between Kaidon Salter from Liberty, who transferred into Colorado, who played at Truth Academy, and Julian Lewis. Y'all know he went to Carrollton. The Phenom graduated early with a 3.79 GPA. Finished high school in 2.5 years. So I'm sure he'll do well at Colorado academically, I'm pretty sure. But in terms of football talk, Kaidon is planting his flag. Kaidon sat next to Pat Shurmur, the OC. I think he's made himself a sponge, and he's going to absorb everything he can from Pat Shurmur. And then Kaidon and Juju, along with the rest of the team, Coach Prime said, y'all go up to the front and introduce yourselves. Now, picture this. The team meeting starts. Juju sits in Shadour's seat. Kaidon goes sits next to the OC. They go up to the front with the rest of the new team members to introduce themselves. And Juju said, I'm here. I'm ready to work. But before that, Kaidon said, hi, I'm Kaidon Salter. I think he said he's from Cedar Hill, Texas, from Dallas, outside of Dallas. And he said, I'm here to lead this team and to lead this team to a Big 12 championship. Now, Juju's face, the camera went straight to him, was like, right, bro, whatever. So in other words, Juju like, look here, bro, you're not just finna take my spot like that. This young man has a 3.79 out of a 4.0, graduated 2.5 years, college, graduated high school in 2.5 years. He will be strategic when it comes to fighting for that number one starting spot. But fans are like, look, Juju's young. He graduated early. He can sit back. He can learn from Caden, who's a senior. Now, one thing about Caden, I watched the interview with his parents. I told y'all he went to Truth Academy. Very familiar with Coach Prime. His mom said he's confident. His mom said he's a lot like Coach Prime, meaning he's unflappable. He's hella confident, and we need that, especially going up against Georgia Tech. We need that experience. So the fans are right. Juju is young. He can benefit and learn from Kaidon Salter, but I know he wants to start. I know he wants to start, especially with him being depicted as the future of Colorado, inheriting the keys from Shedeur, sitting in Shedeur's seat, and then here comes Caden. Because I actually worried about this. I was like, now how is this going to work out? So Caden was asked in an interview that he did a sit down with like a local news channel. He was asked, so were you promised that you would start? He said, no, I wasn't promised anything. I was told it would be a competition. You have to compete for the number one spot. I'm like, okay, that made me feel better. But to see this little friendly competition coming on, yeah. Caden is, they both are strategic. I mean, just by where they positioned themselves in the first team meeting, Caden sitting next to the OC after Juju goes sits in Shedeur's seat. It says a lot. So shout out to both of them. I'm looking forward to season 3, that opener against Georgia Tech. Ooh, that's going to be something. So that was the one key takeaway. The quarterback, I'm not going to call it a quarterback controversy because they do have to compete, so it's not controversial. But the quarterback competition, competing for the starting role, that competition is underway. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Memphis, Tennessee in the house. So you know we have a guy from Memphis who is said to be mentored by Aubrey Miller, who's in the NFL. And Coach Prime coached Aubrey Miller at Jackson State. Matter of fact, Memphis is in the house pretty strong too this year at Colorado. So the second key takeaway. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. Good evening, good evening. Good evening, Treasure. Welcome back. Bobby, welcome back. Bobby Black, welcome from Memphis. Queen B, welcome back. Welcome back. Let the best man win. Exactly. And that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. But to be honest, we really, against Georgia Tech, we got to give it all we got. Georgia Tech is not a Mayflower. They're not just going to fold over. So we do need that experience. But it's a competition, and Juju's pretty smart, so we'll see. Philly in the house. That's right. Welcome back. Is that Brian? Welcome. 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 Don't forget, y'all, if you're new to the channel, drop your area code. Some people returning, Treasure, Queen B. Yeah, I appreciate y'all shouting out. Okay, so the second key takeaway from Colorado's first day back yesterday, the team meeting, is we got a lot of players from Mississippi, and they some big boys too. They on defense, and they are hungry. So to me, defense looks like Warren Sapp has a lot to work with. And to me, they were giving off, like I saw somebody that was giving like BJ Green, Chidozie. The defense is like, I'm ready to work. I'm ready to work. You can see it. So the class that's coming in has a different level of appreciation for Coach Prime. One, they're starting with us young and early. Not everybody's not in their last year, getting ready to go to the league. So what I notice is it's like they can sit back and see, I can get to the NFL here. So we have a lot of Mississippians in the house. The big boys are in the house. The defense is ready to go. I say GTG, they are ready to go. The offense is young. But I think it'll be different. I think it'll be better. But something that transpired before we came back, there was a new hire. That's key takeaway number 3. So key takeaway number 2, the defense looks ready to go, and we got a lot of Mississippians in the house. Shout out to Mississippi. We got some Memphis Tennesseans in the house as well. And key takeaway number 3. So there was a new hire. Apparently, and I didn't know this. Coach Mo is now the director of strength and conditioning of player development, whereas the new hire is an alum from Miami. Any Miami University, Miami fans in here got to be long time that know who Andrew Swayze is. I heard he was a beast. Led strength and conditioning at Miami for 15 years. From the Ed Reed, Edgerrin James era, 15 years. During that championship era, went to 12 bowl games. During his tenure as strength and conditioning coach, it's reported that Miami had 35 first round draft picks from 2001 to 2016. And a lot of players from Texas. Now, that's what? I didn't see a lot of players from Texas. No, you're right. You're right. Caden and somebody else. Does Caden have a brother on the team? The reason I'm asking, it's a few people with the similar last name, Salter and Saltor. And two of them are from Dallas. I know Caden is from Dallas. So there was another young man who also said he was Dallas. Did y'all see Quentin Gibson? That's something I wanted to put to the chat to find out if y'all saw Quentin Gibson, if you watched the first day back video. I didn't see Quentin Gibson, but he's also from Dallas. So we do have a lot of Texas boys. Shout out to Queen B for that. Actually, who is that? Queen T. Okay, shout out to Queen T for that bit of insight. Welcome, Kat. Welcome. If you're new to the channel, drop your area code. Philip, Jacktown, and the U. Okay, if anybody in the chat has any insight into the University of Miami during its championship era from 2001 to 2016 and is familiar with how much of a beast of a team they were, and it looks like a lot of the thanks goes to Colorado's new strength and conditioning coach, Andrew Swayze. So that's what we're talking about. That's the key takeaway from number 3. So Coach Swayze came in and he was intense. So I was watching it and I didn't have the volume up, but I could see, I'm like, wait, what's going on here? I didn't know who he was. All I know is I saw this coach basically telling the team they need to buckle up. He was intense. Yesterday was introductions. And when your coach is intense at introductions, you might want to buckle up. And if he was at Miami from 2001 to 2016 and Miami had 35 first round draft picks, yeah, it's gonna be serious when it comes to the development. Now, I didn't really hear too much about us needing more development, but when it came to the O-line and Jordan Seaton in particular, there were people saying they felt like he could have been in better condition or had more strength and conditioning. So let's see. It's about 5 Texas players. That's pretty good. I think Mississippi leads. Do we have a lot of Florida boys? I don't know if we have a lot of Florida boys. I think I saw Antonio Branch. I think he was from Florida, maybe. So everybody's excited. I don't know why I thought it was going to be like another month or so before they came back, but I forget Bucky's right there. People thought Bucky was leaving. He's not leaving. And y'all have to understand too, Bucky already said on camera, I think Shedeur had asked him what he was going to do. And he said, I'm going to stay here with your dad. He said, and I'm probably going to have like a tiny, like very small space at your crib. So it's a 2.5-hour flight from Boulder to Vegas. So NFL plays on Sundays. Colorado wraps up football play on Saturdays. That's a hop, jump, and a skip flight to Las Vegas. And I bet y'all like, who said somebody was going to Vegas? You mean Shiloh and Shedeur? Shoot. Oh, I looked up how much was generated Coach Prime's first year. Do y'all know in Coach Prime's first year in 2023, the TV deal alone for Colorado was north of $340 million? That's a lot of money for a school that's not in the SEC, that's not piggybacking off like, Georgia and Alabama and having these lucrative contracts with ESPN. That's Colorado just moving to the Big 12. Colorado games, $340 million. New York. Shout out to Queen T in New York. Who's from New York? And who's from New York? You guys tell me that. I'm sorry. Who's from New York? We were talking about 5 Texas players. Philip said Jacktown. What's Jacktown? Jacksonville? I don't know what Jacktown is. Unless you mean Jackson, Mississippi or Jacksonville, Florida. I'm new to this being east of the Mississippi River. So, Philip, when you say Jacktown, are you talking about Jackson, Mississippi or are you talking about Jacksonville, Florida? Queen T, New York. Are you talking about Antonio Branch? I'm saying Shedeur might go to New York. If he does, it's not going to be a good thing. Unless that organization has had a mindset changed. Okay, since it's just us, we could talk. All right. The New York Giants have never, in the history of the franchise, had a black starting quarterback. If they have, who was it? I would say I'll wait, but you could just drop it in the chat. So you're basically telling me that Shedeur Sanders will be their first black starting quarterback at the New York Giants. That's what you would have to believe. Let's talk about it. Y'all really think they ready to flip on a dime like that? When just how many years ago they took Daniel Jones when I think Haskins was up and everybody wanted Haskins to go, may he rest in peace. Everybody wanted Haskins to go or thought Haskins was going to New York and they passed on Haskins, sent him to DC, and it is what it is. So y'all let me know if y'all think Shedeur goes to the Giants, if he'll start. Let me know your thoughts. Remember, New York Giants have never had a black starting quarterback. You know, a lot of these, there's a few organizations out there that's just not ready to move forward in terms of progress. I'm not saying they ever had a black quarterback. They are the first pick. I think Tennessee's the first pick. But he can still go to New York because I think they're the third pick now. Officially, Tennessee is the first pick. And Regina told us, who's from Tennessee, she was in the chat the other day when we were watching the game. She said that Tennesseans are saying that it's pretty much Cam Ward has a lock on that #1 pick. We'll see what happens. So, hello, Gracie. Welcome back. We're talking about day 1 of Colorado Buffalo's return to the football program. They had their first meeting. We had key takeaways. It's going to be an epic quarterback competition happening between Kaidon Salter and Juju Lewis. Both seem determined to compete for the #1 starting spot at Colorado. Hello, welcome, Regina. That's Regina. I just conjured your name up. I just said Regina told us she's from Tennessee that #1 pick that Tennessee has could possibly go to Cam Ward. So Queen T was we were talking about Shedeur and where he might go, and it really stemmed from a conversation with us talking about Bucky. So basically, the gang is back. We're back. The same gang is back. Welcome, guys. This makes me so excited. And I didn't get to watch the game yesterday. The Bucks won, and of course, I think we knew the Broncos were going to win. But yeah, it's a lot that we could talk about. But we're talking about Shedeur Sanders, the New York Giants. Can we really see that as a possibility? We're talking about one of the hiccups could be that the New York Giants have never had a black starting quarterback, and are they ready to move forward and instill a black quarterback that would start the entire season? So that's what we were talking about. So what y'all got going on today? Today was the first day of the week. I think we have a 3-day weekend coming up, don't we? A 3-day weekend coming up pretty soon. This is so cool that everybody came back. Did anybody win money yesterday betting on the Bucks and in Washington? Did anybody win any money? So we talked about the 3 key takeaways. We talked about Coach Andrew Swayze, the new strength and conditioning coach. People were asking, did Coach Mo leave? Nope, he's right there. He's the director of strength and like player development, and then the head coach for strength and conditioning. That sole focus is now assigned to Coach Swayze from Miami. Hello, yes, Cleveland, yes. Welcome, Cleveland. Hi, Regina. Uh, who do you think? What do I think about him? The new coach, the new strength and conditioning coach. Okay, I'm gonna be transparent. Um, 2001 was a long time ago, and I know when he was at Miami, he was hella successful. Now I did some research. He didn't lose his job because he wasn't good. It's just that a new coach came in, like Rick Girth. I don't know who that is. Griff or Girth came into Miami with his own staff, and then he just got moved out. It's kind of like when Coach Prime came, he had some coaches come with him. Same thing. So, as far as I know, like the players from the era when he was at Miami, the championship run, they were still working out with him, coming back to the U, working out with him at Miami. I think that says a lot. I think that says a lot. But now his coaching style. See, one of the things that people have to try to understand is, I know we're talking football, I know people yell, I know people scream, but it was intense. And I just don't know how receptive the majority of the players will be, but I don't play football. So anybody want to jump in here that has actually been on a football team, who maybe understands that the intensity, the volume, the yelling, the screaming is maybe it's effective. I heard Kirby Smart do it. And it worked. They went out there, they won the championship. I don't care. I don't care for it. Juanita, you don't care for the yelling and the screaming and the intense. I mean, I don't play football. And I was a cheerleader, I consider it a sport. But I know football, that just kind of seems to be par for the course, maybe. But you know, when I think about Coach Prime's coaching style, we only saw Coach Prime turn up once like that. And that was at a referee during the Texas Tech game. And I don't know. I mean, he told him to buckle up. Some people in the comments say it's a few dudes in that class gonna tap out because of, you know, how hard edge he is. I just think, you know, it's 2025, 2021 was a long time ago. He left there in 2016. That's still some time between 16 to 24. Things have changed. People's learning styles are different, and I don't know. I think he'll be good, I guess, but I don't really know. I know when I saw it, I was like, who is that yelling? I was like, today is introductions. I'm like, who turned like that? Then when they said, you know, it's a strength and conditioning coach, I'm like, well, maybe you got to do that for strength and conditioning. I don't really know, but he's here, and honestly, our first game is Georgia Tech. We don't need all the help we can get. I don't care what y'all say. I'm a Colorado buff. Georgia Tech, unless they lost a whole lot of people, that's going to be a game. That's if they start out like they finished, that's going to be a game. That not Nebraska. I think we done with all that foolishness that went down with that game. We are going to need size, and we're going to need strength. So maybe if Coach Prime sees that people are not receptive to the intensity, you know, because context matters. It's the first day, it's introductions. Do we need to be that intense? And if some people start tapping out of the program because like maybe they feel like it's too much, then that's when Coach Prime don't have to, like, you know, be like, look, we got to approach this a little different. But for me, I didn't play football, so I just need y'all's opinion if you played football on what you thought about it. Juanita, it says I don't care how his first approach came off. People did say that in the comments, Regina. People were like, he doing too much. He extra. See, that's what I'm saying. I didn't play football. It might be normal. But people in the comments did say they felt like he was extra. He was doing too much. Because it was introductions. Like Rick George got up there, and he and Coach Prime, in my opinion, both didn't have energy today. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but I didn't see no smiling from Rick George. I didn't see really no smiling from Coach Prime. And I'm like, well, okay, this guy's kind of intense for the first day, but he's strength and conditioning. He does feel like they let the school down. The way they played in the Alamo Bowl, I mean, when you think about how they played in the Alamo Bowl, maybe that's what's needed. What do y'all think about that? He even said that. He said, what about your last game, the bowl game? What do you think about his intensity in response to that bowl game, knowing how we all felt after that bowl game? Let's touch on that for a moment. So Regina says she didn't like it. You don't see Coach Mo staying? Oh, I mean, they made him a director, but maybe that's not what he wants. Oh, I hope he stays. He's integral to the program. It says, Gracie said, I think that in reality, some of the players might thrive under that type of coach and some may not. Right. And if the majority thrive under it, the rest is going to have to get the program. So, Gracie, I agree with you on that. And don't forget, guys, how disappointing the Alamo Bowl was. Don't forget. So, yeah, and that might be how the room feel, because some people in the comments didn't really care for it. And I felt like it was intense because we were talking about introductions, but the way the Alamo Bowl went, maybe that's what's needed. Because he did say y'all need to buckle up. He said y'all need to watch film. He said, but y'all need to buckle up. He said, if you being flattened, you falling on your neck or your back, he said that's not good. That's basically saying they don't have the strength to keep up with the other team. And I'm telling y'all, Georgia Tech ain't going to be no pushover. I don't even care if they went and got a new squad. They still got the same coach. And that man coached up a one hell of a quarterback who will be playing on Sundays. And that team went 8 overtime rounds with Georgia. So we need to be ready for that kind of competition. I think I like the message overall. It's not enough to be good. Coach Prime said, I don't just want good players. I want a good team. What does that tell you? That last year we had good players, but were we a good team? And then the new guy, the strength and conditioning coach, he said, y'all need to take a real hard look at yourselves in the mirror. He said, you know where your weaknesses are. You need to work on that. I mean, I agree. If you gonna play football, you gotta lift some weights. You have to eat healthy. You can't just be out here coming to practice, leaving, and that be it. So I understand the message. The delivery might need. The delivery in the context, introductory meetings, it might need some work. It might need some work. But like Gracie said, some people might respond to it. If the majority respond to it, it's going to be what it is. Treasure, it says some coaches do the most, but sometimes that technique works to win. Have any of you ever heard Kirby Smart's leaked speech to the team before a championship game or like at the halftime? If you go listen to that, what you heard today was nothing. I'm like, the way I didn't know Kirby Smart could talk like that. I sure didn't know he could cuss like that. That's how he was when they went and played, I guess, Alabama or somebody in the national championship game, and they won. If you listen to it, it got leaked. It wasn't supposed to get leaked, but it got leaked. And I heard it a couple of times. I'm like, wow, Coach Prime is tame comparison to Kirby Smart when it comes to motivating the team with language. Juanita, it says, do you see Travis and his girl was at an event this weekend dressed up? Nah, I didn't. I'm trying not to see them. I'm trying not to see them, to be honest with you. Oh, crap. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to look away. If you saw season 3, episode 5, if you saw season 3, how many of you have seen season 3, episode 5? I did a reaction to it, but I felt like I was restraining myself because I did want to go back down that road. I had already done an hour and a half podcast that started out talking about first round draft picks and then ended up talking about Travis Hunter. And I said in that live that we know we can't save him. We know we can't, And the question is, should you stop talking about it? No, you shouldn't, because other people are learning from this. Everybody is not hard-headed. Everybody is not stubborn. Everybody does not have an unhealthy attachment to the person they're dating. And some people know what love look like. So it's good to talk about it, but I've been trying to avoid the topic. I wanted to do a singular focus video reacting to season 3, episode 5, when it came to Travis Hunter and his fiance, because Travis had her talking for him. I'm like, now why is she telling us what he think about the draft? You see, why is she telling us his thoughts? Where is he? And he just seems to be stuck in this mode of, if I let her do whatever, if I keep putting her out there, she'll love me. No, it don't work like that. If I give her everything, if I pay for this, if I bring her brother into the household and make him my best friend, she'll love me. No. See, the problem is inexperience and low self-esteem. And that's a bad combination. Y'all know people out there who had low self-esteem and who basically just let people trample all over them, use them, abuse them. And the people never loved them. But they thought, if I let this person mistreat me, they'll love me. No. And I blame, I'm sorry, but I blame the people he grew up with, that he lived in the house with, and the one parent he didn't live in the house with. That's who I blame. I went there this weekend with some friends and family, and they was on that girl's side. And I just had to be quiet because I was at these people's house and I just shut down. You know what? I don't know how nobody is on their actual side. You know what people see? Themselves. That's what it is. Some people see that they are Travis and they don't want to admit that they just as bad off as he is. So what they'll tell you is, let them mind their business, because they don't want nobody to tell them nothing about their own situation. Somebody said to me, do you see yourself in Travis' situation? I'm like, are you crazy? I'm like, I don't let people talk to me any kind of way. I understand that disrespect means you don't love me. If you continuously disrespect me, you are not in love with me. See, what Travis doesn't know is that there's somebody who loves you, meaning they don't want you to get hit by a bus, and then there's somebody who's in love with you. He has somebody that's not in love with him. And unfortunately, when you realize that, sometimes it's too late. Sometimes you've given up way too much too soon and you can't reel it back in. So I wanted to do a season 3, episode 5 about it, but I gave up. I did. I said, no, I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna just let it go. I'm like, I know, I just found another way to be helpful through my shorts. If y'all pay attention to my shorts, that's how I relay the message to people who want the message. And my first short, I talked about just because a person loves you, just because a person lives with you, doesn't mean that they love you. That's one of the shorts. A second one, don't get your honey where you get your money. I don't know. I forgot. We were talking about something. That's another short. And the third one I just dropped. How do you know when someone is being loyal to you? That's the third one I just dropped. So that I had to switch it up because I'm like, okay, if I'm helping people, I don't have to talk about Travis. I can just put the knowledge, the wisdom, and the teachings, the experience, put it out there for people in a form of a short. The comments are good. Y'all should go read them. Somebody today came back, because what I said about loyalty, I put a question out there. I said, tell me if you know what loyalty is. Put it in the comments. Whatever you think loyalty is, put it in the comments. The one comment I have already was the best comment. It was a paragraph long, but it was good. It was good. So that's how I'm going to go forward. Travis, I'm just going to be honest. Seeing season 3, episode 5 made me have a physical reaction when I saw that girl sitting there telling us what he thought. I was like, I just can't do this. I just can't do it. And I don't know whose idea it was. I was kind of thinking maybe it was the producers, because the OSU situation had already happened, and maybe they just feel like it would give them some ratings. But then I just remembered that, Travis put her in his Adidas campaign when he easily could have put his brother, who has NFL aspirations, in the Adidas campaign. So I just moved on. I had to move on for my own sanity. I had to move on. I love a girl after. I love what I love a girl after we was friends and ask questions. Wait, what? What does that say? Can you do a tarot card reading for Beyonce? I don't know how to do that. That ain't my thing. Welcome, Rob. That's not my thing. Are you watching the game tonight? Who's playing tonight? I don't know who's playing tonight. Who's playing tonight? And yeah, I can put it on right now. Who's playing tonight? Somebody let me know. Regina, let me know in the comments who's playing tonight. And William, welcome. You said William Jason Solo. I love a girl after we was friends and ask questions on if I what? I don't. I'm sorry. I don't understand what you were saying now. Let me see if the game is on. Did anybody win any money on the Buccaneers losing to the Washington Commanders? Let's see. Welcome, Artist Midnight Queen. Were you actually in the Hunter's family physical presence? Let's see. Okay, Queen T, somebody put a question out to you. Gracie said, this is a one-sided relationship of conveniences. I think that, yes, absolutely. Okay. I don't know. I just think that somebody failed him miserably in terms of not having self-esteem in middle school, not having self-esteem in high school. And we know it happens to people, right? But my question is, okay, Minnesota and the Chargers are on, so I put that game on. My question is, how is it that somebody from high school is so scarred, right, that they don't even know that being the number one player in the nation is what made you rich? You just hadn't even capitalized on it. To hear him say, I didn't have nothing when I was in high school, I was broke. I'm like, you were the number one player in the nation, and he didn't know it. Just absolute zero self-worth. And I'll go back to his mom's comment at the Heisman, something about him being a mistake. I'm like, lady, you didn't have to say that right there. And I wonder if she said that, something like that, on a national stage such as the Heisman, which was on ESPN, what other things has she been saying that kind of degrades his self-esteem? So I blame her. I'm sorry. I just do. I just think if you're going to say that at the Heisman ceremony when he just won, you making it about yourself, you tearing him down, what are you doing behind closed doors? So I put that on the mom. The dad too, but the mom for sure. Because I think he grew up in the house with her, and based on what I saw at the Heisman ceremony, seems like he's been torn down. Yeah, it's a one-sided relationship. Absolutely, it's a one-sided relationship. The Vikings and the Rams. Okay, I just put it on. Thank you, Juanita. Thank you, Regina. Nobody else at CU had their girlfriends on season 3. Nobody else at CU had their girlfriends around like that. Several guys have girlfriends, the same girlfriend, and they come to the games, they take them on vacation, but they have boundaries. We talking about somebody that has no boundaries, no self-esteem, no self-worth, stubborn, rebellious, and people say blind. I don't think he's blind. I think he thinks his trick is going to work. I think he thinks if I stick with it when we get married, I'm going to get what I want, and we going to be good. Sometimes people think that if I give you the world, then you going to love me. I don't even know. I've never even heard her say she loves him. I've heard him say he loved her. I've heard him profess his love for her. I've never heard her say she loved him like that. When she did her little speech in the crop top playing in her hair, she put on her boyfriend, essentially, her ex-boyfriend, the dude waiting in the wings, the rapper. But I don't know if I've ever heard her say that she loved him. I don't even know if I ever heard them say that They love each other, that we are in love. It's nothing like that. Nothing like that. I think Coach Prime tried to assist him and welcome him with open arms. You talking about Travis? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, okay, y'all know Coach Prime was just on Tamron Hall, right? And Miss Tamron Hall asked Coach Prime about the advice that he had given to Travis after the OSU disrespect and all the other disrespect. And some people got upset with Coach Prime because here's what he said. He said his advice was the enemy is trying to stop you, or don't let the enemy stop you. Some people were upset because they felt like he was putting it on the spiritual realm rather than the fact that Travis is in a loveless relationship. I went back and said he didn't say who the enemy was. You got to listen to people, what they talk, what they say, and what they don't say is huge. All he said was the enemy is trying to stop you. What have we seen? We have seen the person that is his intended cannot celebrate him. He's in a relationship where he's tolerated. He's not even celebrated. I mean, that was the most glaring issue right there, the disrespect at times when he should be celebrated. So in my opinion, somebody who's close to him, should basically teach him and say, look, young bro, you deserve to be celebrated and tolerated. Now he just gonna push him away. That's what Travis is in the pattern of doing. They said he had a friend back home that tried to talk to him about her, and he stopped being friends with the guy. Y'all see what it is with Shedeur? He had, in my opinion, people said he was ultra aggressive at the game, yelling and screaming at Shedeur, cussing him out. Like, it was supposed to be about football, but he's never been like that. And it came after Shedeur was basically, I heard Shedeur asked him, let's go take a guide trip to Mexico. And he was like, I got to bring my girlfriend, And Shedeur pointed out how they planned the wedding and they didn't even tell Shedeur. See that right there, that kind of behavior? See, that's that wishy-washy, switching up type of stuff I don't like. And that might be one of the reasons why I didn't do another video about him, because I'm starting to see that his behavior is also a problem. That Travis himself seems to be fake. That he put on an act the whole time just till he got to the bag. And now that people want to counsel him and talk to him, he's burning bridges. But he's not just burning bridges. It's the way he's treating people, like Coach Prime. They're supposed to take some fishing trip afterwards. They're not taking that trip. Travis talks to Coach Prime, right? So tell me why Coach Prime is on Good Morning America this last week. Coach Prime was all on a media tour. And Coach Prime said Travis and Shedeur, Shiloh, and some of the other players will be in Colorado for the NFL draft. We're going to be at the gymnasium. It's going to be special. We're going to all be together with friends, family, loved ones, and our fans. Travis went on his podcast and said, if I'm the number one draft pick, I'm going to be in Green Bay. So you couldn't give Coach Prime a heads up that you want to do something different? And where you think that idea came from? Oh, I know where it came from. Who did he just sign with? Right. That's where it came from. That and the person that he calls love. I don't understand why is at all of his NIL events. When she said that in, what was that, episode 2 or 1? I was like, and look how she was dressed. Did you see how she was dressed at all of his NIL events? Oh, I'm just going to make sure he's okay. She treats him like he's a puppy. She treats him like, she don't treat him like she's in love with him. She treats him like she's his caretaker. He don't even see it. Oh, I'm just here with him to make sure he's okay. Why wouldn't he be okay? Because you're crippling his mind and you thinking for him? He went to her and asked her what she thought about him going to Jackson State. I'm like, really? So that's how long it's been this bad. We're just seeing it get worse and worse on bigger stages. So what I looked at the way she was dressed, I know when she come around and it's nothing but guys and she's dressed like that, I know he embarrassed. Any man would be. And I don't know if y'all realize the shift that took place. So I think it was last summer, they were back in Canton, Texas at Coach Prime's lake, right? Shador, I didn't even see Charlotte. I just saw some of the guys, Shador, Bucky, Travis. Guess who was there? Coming out the back bedroom. Travis and his fiance was nothing but guys in the house, and the guys just bust out laughing. And I was like, okay, who gonna use their head in this situation? And you know he was embarrassed. So what you started to see a couple of months down the line is, because you remember he said on the pivot, it's hard because she's everywhere. Well, guess who's everywhere now? Her brother. So on the episode 5 that I wanted to talk about, Travis went fishing with Coach Prime. Guess who was with Travis? Her brother. So the places that she would normally go that look crazy for her to be there, because it's all men, she sent her brother. He don't even know. Like, oh, that's my best friend. Bro, your little brother is your best friend. What are you talking about? He said he had a cousin that he played football with every day. Why is he not on Travis's podcast? You see what I'm saying? Like, he's basically been isolated from his family. His mom has been subdued because they bought her a house. People kept coming to me tomorrow. Why is she saying she bought his mom a house? Like, what she have to do with it? Because her name is on a checking account that the money came out of. See how that works? Well, I mean, his new girlfriend, you know, she gonna be his wife, and she was instrumental in me getting the house, girl, because Travis would have never bought it because, you know, he cheat. I like her. That's what he at. So the mom, she willing to look the other way. And she wants the limelight for herself. You could see it. So the situation is just, it just get worse. And then when you throw Young Money in there. So y'all know I live in Atlanta, right? I live in Atlanta, and the college football playoffs are here. This weekend, the 19th. So a friend of mine said, oh, they having a concert like on the 18th. You know, the usual Atlanta figures, you know, like Money Long, somebody else. Guess who done hopped on the lineup? I give y'all one guess who hopped on the lineup to be in a concert in Atlanta the day before the college football playoffs. What? Queen T, you kidding me? What? She was auditioning in Unc and Neely's show. Oh, yeah. I didn't watch it. I saw it. I kept it moving. Mom was so amazing speaker. She is an amazing speaker at the Heisman. She was an amazing speaker at the Heisman, but putting her son out there as a mistake is not something she would have said. She also said he's been him. So if he's been him, why doesn't he know that he's him? She knew he was him, but he doesn't. Explain that. Being a good speaker is nothing. It's all about how you treat. If you don't treat your children and instill in your children that, you know, they should have their own self-worth, that's why Travis gives everything away. He don't think he deserves nothing. Whether you think about all of them staying with him, I think they are a buffer. I think she's not into him. She's not. This is about the lifestyle and getting to her goal. Once her goal, she made it to that goal, she gonna get there one or two ways. Either she gets a 0.5% or 1% from him going to Young Money, because that was about that was not a favor that was done for nothing. Something is gonna come of that favor. And she basically showed you how she worked it out there. Travis didn't even know him. Don't listen to music. The next thing you know, she got Travis listening to his music. The next thing you know, he's representing Travis. What that tells you is she been working him. She works him. She works him to get him little bit by little bit to the end game. And it's always going to be something in it for her. So, okay, I'll tell y'all since y'all didn't guess who it was. On the 18th, the day before the college football playoffs, there's a concert. I was trying to get y'all to guess who popped up on the lineup for the concert. Lil Wayne. I told a friend, I said he's doing the college playoff championship, the concert before the game, because he wants their business. That's what it is. The mom is the mom is trying to be Lisa without the credentials. Lisa who? Lisa Nichols? Who? Okay, reality check. I need you to expand. She's trying to be who without the credentials? I need to know. Let me know who Lisa Nichols is. Naughty Slim, absolutely. And I asked this question. We talked about this on my podcast, my live. That was an hour and a half. If she turned Lil Wayne on to Naughty Slim's, I'm sorry, damn, that was the slip of the tongue. If she turned Travis on to Lil Wayne music, did she turn Travis on to Naughty Slim? Does he even know who that is? That video set on 2,000, not even 3,000 views over the last, how many years? Since 2013? Something crazy like that. Treasure. It says Naughty Slim. Yeah. They said Wayne. Yep. Wayne is actually doing the concert, the headline concert here in Atlanta a day before the college football playoffs. That's to get, it seems like here's their goal, okay? Their goal seems to be just get all the clients you can because they get 4%, they get 3%. If I get enough people and I do their contracts, that's all I gotta do. I don't have to do nothing else. Now, by the time those clients realize that they should have went with an agency that can help them with branding and marketing, which means make money while they sleep, it's gonna be too late. They're gonna have all those 4% from this person, that person. It's from people that don't understand that you need to go with somebody. Anybody can read your contract. You need to go with somebody. It's a rookie contract, so ain't gonna be no hella negotiation. These are just easy checks. Because what branding deals does Lil Wayne have? I'll wait. I'll wait. What branding deals does he have for himself? We see what branding deals Snoop has for himself. In fact, I said Snoop right now would be the person that I could see starting an agency, a representation agency for athletes, because he's vertical and he can actually do the branding side as well because he has branding deals. Matter of fact, he has more branding deals. Him and Shaq together have more branding deals than probably anybody else that plays sports outside of Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan. Hell, maybe even LeBron. But Lil Wayne, I haven't seen no brand deals with him. Like, what brand deals does he have? And if he don't have any, how you gonna get some? You need relationships. 3 years. Okay, it was 3 years. Okay, 3 years. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Gracie. I know it just sat there. I was like, it sat there. And I don't even know if he saw it. But again, she works him. So I could see her. Oh, did I ever tell you I was in the video with this guy in Atlanta? Yeah, he just paid me, blah, blah, blah. She gonna work it in. She works him, and he lets her do it. I mean, at some point, you ought to know when you being worked over. I mean, at some point, you just have to figure it out because her actions don't match, like, her words. Like, I'm with you, I live with you, that must mean that I love you, but I consistently disrespect you. Somebody got him to go off the internet. You see, he had to come back because he got deals that he already had. Let's see how many more deals he gets. Luckily, he's with Smack Entertainment for talent. I bet that contract not gonna last long. They gonna be trying to wiggle his way out of that, but that's what's gonna be his saving grace. Once she gets enough money on her own, she out the door. What if she can get it from him, or she can get it from getting him deals, or basically doing favors for other people so Travis can sign with them? She gonna bounce because she's not in love with him. She wants the lifestyle, she wants the fame, and right now he's the vessel to bring the fame and the fortune. When she can get both by herself, she out. One of the what? Oh, let's see. One of the motivational speakers who, Lisa Nichols is a motivational speakers. The Secret book. Yeah, you can tell that's what she wants. Like, I don't know if y'all paid attention to the Heisman ceremony, but when she was getting ready to talk, he was like, Travis said, oh Lord, she finna go on. She didn't go on per se, well, she did a little bit, but what she said, see, that's probably one of the reasons why she don't have nothing to say about his fiance, because she wants that for herself. She wants that for herself. You can see it. The daddy too. There's a video out there on their channel, if the channel's still up. They were sitting down eating like seafood. It was Travis, his fiance, and her dad. Go watch that video. You're going to notice that Travis is not aware of the things going on around him. And he'd be shocked if he ever watched that video. Hopefully he's astute enough to pay attention to know that there was some inappropriate behavior going on there from his father. Go watch it. That's not how a father acts to somebody who his son is getting ready to marry. And Travis was totally oblivious. They are talking about Deion Sanders being the next coach at the Dallas Cowboys. They said Jerry Jones called Deion and it's live. They're talking now. Oh, wow. Well, I'm not surprised. In the first team meeting, well, before that, I think, was it yesterday, Coach Prime posted. So he posted nothing but a picture of Proverbs 3. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. And I said to myself, oh, he out the door. Sooner or later. Because whenever I use Proverbs 3, I'm on my way from point A to point B. And generally, that's the prayer that you need. You want God to guide you. You don't want to make the decision yourself. That's what it is. So I'm not surprised. And today or yesterday in a team meeting, you heard me say at the beginning of this episode, this podcast, Coach Prime, when he was talking to the team, he didn't have that fire. He didn't have that passion. And neither did Rick George. Rick George was like, I mean, it's almost like Coach Prime and Rick George both would be gone. And if so, then that comes back to some things that I started to learn about. Somebody said in one of the podcasts that there probably was some budgetary issues. Come to find out, there was some budgetary issues. So, yeah, I think that the university is making money hand over foot because of Coach Prime. But the athletic budget for football is probably not where it needs to be. And again, there's no NIL. Very little. Travis Hunter should not be the biggest donor for NIL. Neither should Smack Entertainment. And then I read where there was an issue with Coach Prime having a clause. So y'all know how Amazon was on campus, right? Getting footage for season 3 and season 2. Well, Coach Prime had a clause in there of something to do with his kids and something. And I think the school maybe got upset or didn't benefit from something to do with the Amazon Prime show. I don't know. You have to go back and read it. Point is, it's something going on. It's something going on. Y'all know, we heard Coach Prime say out of his own mouth, the father doesn't follow the kids. The kids follow the father. I want him to be happy, but those kids came to see you for him. I still don't think it's happening right now. I mean, it could be. And I'm just going to be honest. Based on what the issue is, it might be a situation where they absolutely have to part ways. And if it is, it happens all the time. If it is, then Coach Prime going to make sure everybody gets somewhere. But we don't want to jump the gun on that. Let's see. Did you see, you is like a whole snack. Thank you. Hugh, thank you, Hugh. Regina, that's going to be disappointing if he leaves these kids. Yeah, what channel is it live on, Regina? Is it on social media like YouTube, or is it on like ESPN or something like that? Let us know so we can hop over there. I mean, sometimes a parting of the ways has to be, if you go and you look at the first meeting, go to Well Off Media, Reach the People Media, you can see it. Like, Rick George spoke first. He was like, well, this is a good university. He didn't even have the joy inside. He didn't even have the excitement in his voice. Coach Prime didn't either. Now, the most that Coach Prime seemed passionate when it came to being disciplined. He said, this is the year that we're going to be disciplined. From what you wear, he said, I better not see nobody on campus with no slides on. He said, and if you have your classes online, I didn't know. Did y'all know the majority of them took their classes online? They take their classes online and you still failing. He said, we might not be the reason you get the check that you get because of the whole NIL collective is paying students to play for the school. Y'all know I got a video coming. I've been doing some research. This is hella interesting. Coach Prime said, we might not be the reason you get a check, but we going to interrupt your check if you start failing your classes. So the NIL collective, in my opinion, it's a glorified booster club with legal structure. It's a nonprofit, a 501, like a C3, C4 nonprofit where anybody can start it. It's independent of the university, but they have a hand in paying players to play. So imagine a university has a coach that the booster club, that's what I call it, the collective doesn't like. They're not going to donate money. They're going to try to get him up out of there and make him less competitive or non-competitive football program. But imagine the football players, the booster club, the collective likes the coach. You have former alumni, like a star from CU, starting a 901, a 501, C3, C4 nonprofit, pumping millions of dollars into it, going and paying athletes to come play for the school. So where does that leave the coach? That's what happened to Nick Saban. He said, okay, I'm not about to invest in this foolishness. You got essentially a glorified booster club out here paying the players to come play. I don't even know if I like them players. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like the boosters are kind of taking over the recruiting for the most part because they can kind of manipulate the money. It's their money. They made the donations. They're the one that runs out and get the deals for the players. I'm like, okay, if they're working independently and they don't like the coach, they can negatively affect the recruiting of the coach by choosing not to donate. And I think that might be one of the problems with NIL in Colorado. The issue is rumored to be an offer of extension and to his contract. What? So Gracie, you said the issue is rumored to be an offer of extension to Coach Prime's contract. Are you saying that that's why he's considering NFL because this has something to do with Coach Prime's contract extension offer? Is that what you're saying? It says halftime football game. They were talking about it. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I'm looking at third quarter. Okay, it just got back. It's on the football game. The Rams and the Vikings tonight. They were talking about it. That's what they were talking about at halftime, Coach Prime? Wow. Okay, so it'll definitely be all over social media afterwards. Thank you, Gracie. Yeah, okay. I think, in my opinion, that there's something going on that we can't see. But it could be that maybe he knows Shedeur and Shiloh not going to get a fair shake in the NFL. And he like, you know what, I got to go. But that wouldn't look good for him. They would be like, you don't care about your sons. And that's what people been saying. So I don't think it's that. He also said he wouldn't follow them. I think it's something going on, whether it's budgetary constraints, whether it's lack of NIL, whether the collective holding out on him because they don't like him. Because he's instrumental in who he wants to go get. And remember, these NIL collectives have power because they can pay these players. But they work independently of the university. But the question is, are they working with the coach? That's the problem I think we're running into. And if you think about it, Nick Saban is gone and NIL has something to do with it. And then Coach Prime will be gone. I think we better go back to the NIL scenario. He can make $90 million. That's how much I think his next contract should be. Y'all let me know how much you think Coach Prime's next contract should be. I think it should be $90 million plus all the perks that coaches typically get. Incentives, perks, etc. They get access to private jets, country club memberships, this, that, and the other. So 90 million plus perks plus incentives. If they go to a bowl game, he gets a monetary amount. If they go to a playoff game, if they go to a championship game. So we're gonna talk about that. I think it should be $90 million plus perks and incentives. What do y'all think Colorado's next contract should be? It says Dukes the Scoop talked about it. Oh, he talked about it this morning on the podcast. Oh, I need to go watch him. I like him. Thanks, Gracie. I have to go watch Duke. It said, to be honest, I only want to watch him play football. The personal situation he's in. Oh, okay. It's sad to see. Okay, you talking about Travis. Yeah. That situation is just gonna come to a head whenever it does. You know, that's just a situation. Like I said, a lot of people I think just kind of want to move past it because there's nothing you can do about it, and it's not like he's listening. So it's not like you can offer him advice. So the most you can do is use the situation as a case study to teach somebody else. That's all you can do. It said facts. That means it's about him and he needs to let his boys go on their own. Yeah, but I don't think it's that. I think it's something going on at CU. I do. I think it has something to do with NIL and possibly budget constraints. And those are two things that teams can use to basically kind of like persuade somebody to move on. Now, CU's not going to say anything, but they already made the money. Just from his first year alone, the money they made. Then they had TV contracts again this year. He played on TV, I think, more this year than they did last year. Let's see. So I don't think it's about that. I don't think so. Because Coach Prime even said it. He said the parents don't follow the kids. The kids follow the parents. And he was adamant about that. He was also adamant about staying. I think he just sees it as an opportunity. You know what? This at CU not gonna work out anyway. Since it's before the draft, I can just put a package deal together. That's what I think it is. I think something is happening behind the scenes at CU. He sees the opportunity, the timing, and he can put a package deal together for all three. I don't think he ever intended for that to be the case. It'll come out. The truth will come out. I like Dion, but it's always about Dion. See, that's what I don't want. I don't want people to put it out there as that, and then there's something going on at CU in terms of they tighten the purse strings on the budget, and that's going to cause a problem. They're not invested in NIL, and that's going to cause a problem. And if Colorado don't have NIL for football as a collective for all athletics, this is not going to just be a problem for Coach Prime. This is going to be a problem for all of the coaches because across all the athletic programs, because remember, NIL is a collective. It's a booster club for the school. Remember that. It's not just tailgate parties. It's legalized. It has a nonprofit status, and they raise money, for athletes. Current athletes. They're pretty particular about saying current athletes. There's even a collective for Colorado players or athletes that helps them with assistance and mental health resources. So you just gotta know that there are a few collectives out there. Some schools have one big one. Some schools have smaller ones based on certain things. But I think it's something going on at CU. I don't think it's that Coach Prime just realized that Shiloh and Shedeur were moving on. He always knew they were moving on. He spoke to it. That's why he put it out there that if both of my sons are drafted, I will coach in the NFL. Think about how adamant he has been about not coaching in the NFL. He probably was never even considered by the Raiders because they knew his stance. He wanted Shedeur and Shiloh to go. He wasn't marketing for himself. That's why I know something has changed at CU. And based on Rick George's impassionate speech today and Coach Prime's impassionate, teaching, it just, something's going on. It's not surprising. It's really not. So yeah, I don't want people to say it's about him and it's something else going on. Nick Saban ain't never had no problem with getting his money. That's true. A lot of coaches, even the bad ones, never had problems getting his money. So that's why I said I don't think it's just about this next contract. I think it's deeper than that. I think it's that probably we don't know what they're talking about with the next contract, but Rick George's posture today in a meeting, yesterday in a meeting, kind of tell me something's going on. So they probably already know who they want their next head coach to be anyway, to be honest with you. And it wouldn't surprise me if CU's next coach has $5 million sitting in his coffers for the football team alone, when you think about how much money has been raised. So I think that, I just think there's something going on behind the scenes. Just like Jackson State. Coach Prime wasn't talking about leaving Jackson State until they start playing around and treat him like he wasn't a priority. That's why I said CU basically about to do the same thing. That's how they get. They start pulling the purse strings. We don't have the money for this. They don't want to prioritize, things for the football team, but that's who's generating the money. So they could essentially be Jackson State 2.0. It could happen. It said Coach Prime will never let those boys down who chose him. Absolutely. No, he's not going to do that. That's why I'm like, no, I don't see it. I don't see him doing. He didn't do it at Jackson State. Think about it. There were several players from Jackson State who came to Colorado. It wasn't just Shedeur, Travis, and Shiloh. There was Cameron Silver-Craig, Jeremiah Brown, and Coach Prime made sure, in my opinion, I think that's Aubrey Miller getting drafted. I think he made sure that Isaiah Bond left and went to Florida State. But remember, Coach Prime had all those guys. He was leading on the NFL about them recruiting from HBCUs, from Jackson State, and Aubrey Miller got drafted. I feel like it was 2 people. And now they said Aubrey Miller is the mentor of one of the new guys who's from Memphis. Coach Prime, yeah, he wouldn't let them down. Absolutely. It was few. It was a lot. It wasn't a lot. But the point is, he didn't just up and leave by himself. Like, there were some coaches, I think the coach at USC, didn't he come from Oklahoma? And before they played their bowl game, he got up and left? I think maybe so. And how many players he took with him? So the point is, when he left Jackson State, Alejandro Mata, let's see, Jeremiah Brown, Tyler Brown, I think it was somebody else, and they not with Colorado no more. Of course, you had Shiloh, Travis, Shedeur, 7 by 7 or 8 guys. I'd have to do the numbers. That's not bad. That's almost the offense or the defense, so that's not bad. So I don't want to say it's about him. I don't think it is. I think he's making an about face in terms of coaching in the NFL because something is going on, and I think it'll come out. I think as time goes on, we don't want to disrupt the season, so we're probably not going to talk about it right now. But eventually, it's going to come out. I tell you, go look at the video, Well Off Media. Rick George's posture. Go look at old videos with Rick George and go look at new ones, and you see that he didn't have that energy and that enthusiasm today. So it looks like the Rams are going to move on because 24-3, the Rams in Minnesota. I can't believe Minnesota's number 5. They only have 3 points, and it's the 3rd quarter with 9 minutes left. These games have just really been lopsided. My kin folks works with Coach Prime. Okay, so what are they saying? Well, don't tell us who they are because we don't want nobody to get in trouble. But we always open to insight. What is it that they're saying that they think the issue is? Or can you tell us? And if they say they think, he just want to go with his kids, I'd be shocked by that. I'd be shocked that they said that. He seems to be forward thinking. He knew that they were always moving on. He said it, they were going and he wasn't. Coach Prime is big on respect. Facts, Herman. Welcome. He respects others and is a high level of self. Wait, what? A high level of. Oh, well, Herman, it was a good comment. Okay, well, it was a good comment, but Herman said that Coach Prime has a high level of self-respect and he respects others. True, I'm telling y'all, put a pin in this whole entire conversation. Something is going on behind the scenes. Maybe it's a medical prognosis and he feel like he got to do something different, or I think it's something going on at CU, because I do look at people's body language. I do look at, it's the first day, and when your voice doesn't have that enthusiasm is in it, the athletic director, it's something going on. I don't have inside information. They don't tell me. Because I don't ask so much. Oh, you just saying, oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. I don't know anybody that knows them personally. So, yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, they probably wouldn't tell me either, because I'll probably be right here talking about it. But no, he usually have good people around him. So that's not a surprise. That's not a surprise. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. We started off talking about, first day back. We're back at it. The elephant in the room, is Coach Prime leaving? Is he staying? People say they're talking about it at halftime during the game. I'm going to go and watch what I can find out. Maybe I can go backwards in the game on YouTube and back up a little bit and see what they were talking about. Herman. Who was that? Oh, Herman, you're back. You deleted your message. It was a good message. You were saying Coach Prime has a lot of respect for people, and a lot of people have respect for Coach Prime. So I happen to agree with that. So I'm going to go and try to see what it is that I can learn or find out about what they were talking about at halftime. And maybe there's some podcasts out there. There's some information I can go find out. But I believe that it is the about face. I'm going to go with NIL money. You're good at this. I love the show. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. Who is that? Gracie. Gracie said, contract extensions are offered after the second season, and a lot of other coaches who have not accomplished anything. Oh, okay. Well, CU, now it has been said that Colorado and Coach Prime can't have contract negotiations until year 3. So we have to go, by the time the season starts, we'll be halfway into hell no, it will be season 3. When the team starts this season, when we play Georgia Tech, pre-game, preseason, or whatever, it'll be season 3. They can do contract negotiations then. I really enjoy your show. Thank you so much. Thank you, Regina. I appreciate it. Have a great evening, y'all. I'll see y'all later. I appreciate the squad getting back together. Turn your notifications on if you're new to the channel, and join us. Thanks again for watching What She Said. Peace.